Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Uh, it's me, Affected Hippo, and today I have decided to build this. This is a J15, or from the Railway series, he would have been 1020, except I built it uh, in the preserved engines livery, which is it's supposed to be a royal blue. However, this is the closest I have to royal blue, with the crate mod. However, I think we're going to rebuild this guy in his LNER all black. So let's get going. We'll be starting like we do most trains with a bogie. We're going to go to a triple axle large crate style. And then from here, it is as simple as 2 out on either end. And then I like to take, two of the black riveted loco metal. And then I like to take the copycat slice layers. Copycat slope layers, my mistake. And I like to layer 7 in there. And that is so that once we put the buffer beam on, it's completely level with that. However, this bit is where I do it a little weird. I want copycat boards on here, so we have a consistent connected texture all the way across. Once again, using the copycat black riveted loco metal, and we'll place one more board across or in front of the bogie to try and hide that. And in fact, we'll do the same thing right there. We'll now be taking the copycat slices, and we'll be placing those on the edge there. We'll click it once on the left side of the locomotive so we get this more consistent white color. And we're just going to be using this as trim going around the edge, but on the right side you have to click it. Well, it would appear to only be once again. When I built the reference over here, I think I had to do it 4 or 5 times. Just maybe not that many, but it felt like a lot more than it should have been. Now, with your red loco metal pillar in your left hand, and your copycat headstock buffer in the right hand, you can place in your buffers at the front of the locomotive. Now, pressing Alt, for me anyway, left Alt, you can switch it over to this, the screw link coupler, which of course looks like a hook and chain. I don't know if there's an actual name for it, that's just how I like to use it. Now you'll want a black loco metal pillar in your left hand, and you place a copycat slab down, followed by well, 3 copycat layers stacked on the side here. We're going to click both of them twice so we get the vertical texture with those. We'll just place our black loco metal boiler right on top there, and then we'll just go back 1, 2, 3, 4 from that boiler. Now what we'll do next, we'll take a black black loco metal smoke box and we'll place it against this copycat board right here so we get the opening on this side, and then we can just continue with that same block, use it in a copycat board, and then just right click it a couple times so we get the smoother texture on the side there. Now you're going to press Alt and you're going to move over to the flat black / loco metal. Let's put that back in your offhand. And now just right behind where the smoke box comes into contact, we're going to put 3 copycat slices and then a space and then 3 more copycat slices. These are supposed to be the, I guess, the sanding gears, or I want to say that's where they apply sand to the wheels to help with grip. Our wheels are small, so they don't quite reach, unfortunately, but assuming they did, I guess that's what they would do. I do want to note that similar to this engine, it doesn't have to be the exact same. Just this is how they did this is how they did the engine I'm looking at. Place 2, right click that one, and then the second one, second coal burner smokestack, and then we will take a black flat local metal block and a copycat beam, and we're just going to place that in right behind there. It has the engine itself has a little dome here, and additionally it has another one a little bit further back, but that's too close and you can't get it more centered, and it really needs to be taller than this. It stands out, or stands up quite a bit, and rather awkwardly, I'd say, compared to the rest of the engine. Now we will be getting started on the cab of the locomotive. So what we'll do is we'll take a couple of these, what are they called? Copycat panels. And we'll just be placing them down so that we can get a nice shape. Doing my best here to get, I don't know, this kind of cutout these locomotives tend to have, where it's a little more of a window, I suppose. And then we'll want some more copycat boards, and we'll be placing those just on these lower 2 sections. In fact, we could get away with a third one up top. But what we will do is we'll take these, our black slash loco metal, and we'll fill in all but these top 2 copycat boards. Because these 2 copycat boards, we're going to be using the dark oak window. It's the best we've got in my mod pack anyway, so that we can fill in these windows and actually see out of them. While we're at it, we might as well add a steam whistle. Now the model I'm seeing, or the reference image I'm seeing, and you're hopefully seeing up here by now if I remember, it looks like it has a slightly smaller whistle. However, the size of the whistle is up to you. It is your preference. I'm just going to leave it at the normal size. And then from here, it's really not too much more. We'll need the copycat slices in the layers again, but beyond that, the engine is not all that difficult. We're just going to place these copycat slices on top of the sides of our cab. We'll want 3 copycat layers on the 2 outsides, and then in the center we'll put 4. I know that's half a block. We're going to leave this as it is. And then we'll fill these all in with, not that one, we'll use the riveted. Alright, not the riveted, we'll use the flat black slash loco metal. I like that for roofs of engines. And yeah, it's a kind of a goofy looking little engine. Something I should note, if you find your red dye, I don't know where that's from. Don't remember that being in my mod pack yesterday. You can dye the front of the buffers, and once we get to the back, you could also do the back of them. You can see clearly, I wasn't thinking about that when I was building my reference engine earlier. We'll be continuing on with the tender for the locomotive, so we're going to open up our bogey preview. We'll come down to this medium 606 tender and throw that down. Following that with a couple black riveted local metal, and then 7 copycat layers. Make sure you have a black riveted locomotive in that block. We'll take the slabs now. The slabs will go here up front, so we have a consistent texture at the front for when you are standing and working up here. However, we can continue these going all the way to the back of our locomotive. Next, you'll want to include the tender, or not the tender, but the buffer beam. That'll be 2 buffers on the outside, and then 1 screw link coupler in the center. Now, I guess I am basing this off of a 1900s, these couplers off of a 1900s British locomotive. If you're building a different locomotive specifically, maybe more recent, especially a US engine, you'd probably want this knuckle coupler or split knuckle coupler. That's just how I like to do these. And what you can do, however, is take that same black riveted loco metal and a half slab, or half panel, I suppose it's called, and just fill those in, but leaving 1 space at the end for your copycat ladder. And then this block, it can fill it in with just about any old create block, I guess. I'll just use the flat riveted. Now, the rest of these will go with the black slashed, and we'll want one of these panels again. Now, there were various models of this, and the engine itself was made by various builders throughout the late 1800s and early 1900s. So getting this perfect, it's not. I guess it's just simply put, it's not going to be exact if you're trying to get multiple different locomotives done. They're trying to base this off of the several locomotives I have seen. And if you wanted to, you could make this out of like a black flat slashed, which is what I did over there. However, we want this to be fairly consistent, fairly flat, as a lot of the LNER liveries were. But we'll want coal next. And coal blocks, you can fill this in however you want back here. You can do solid, you can do like copycat layers at the top so that you have an actually interesting. Those are slabs. If you take the layers, you can have variations in the top, or in the top of the tender, like so, and you can just mix it up however you'd want to do it. The thing I like about that is because we use layers, we can include a barrel, and we can include a portable item interface inside of here, and we'll want our wrench too, just to make sure we can get this right. And I'm trying to get to a height where you can see it, but make sure that's facing upward, and then that way you can actually access. Oh, hang on, cat's being a nuisance. There we go. And from here, I don't know what you do. You probably take your a copycat trap door. However you'd want this to open, that one is up to you. I'll put it on the bottom side. And then you could use layers. Layers will give it more of a, I guess, a round profile here, which isn't bad. Just make sure that when you do this, you have something up top trying to hold everything back. And then this way, if you if you have your railway set the way I have mine, you can fill up a locomotive from random coal towers. What we will need up here, though, is a seats, and train. Nope, that's not how you spell train controls. Now, if you want your train to be able to be driven, your locomotive to be driven in multiple directions, you can put a second set of controls right there, and then your locomotive will travel forward and backwards. However, in my opinion, that doesn't look very good. If you shift everything over to the side, it pushes this further to the back, and I am just not a huge fan of that. However, this is our locomotive. Let's go ahead and let's get some glue, and whatever temporary blocks you like to use. And this is it. This is your J15. Well, I guess that's later classification, but still, this is your J15 locomotive. You should be able to. I hope you like my version, my attempt at building a J15. I would encourage you to like the video, subscribe if you would like to see more train tutorials like this. I would also like to throw out there this particular type of locomotive, number 9. Well, I guess this is just the J15, but the number 913 of this class, or it was 930. It was 930 of this class has the world record for the fastest locomotive ever built at 9 hours 45 minutes, right around there, just under 10 hours. What I'd like to propose to you, and this is kind of a big ask, so I really need you. I need you to tell me if this is something you'd be interested in or not. Would you like to see me attempt, I guess, a speed run starting from nothing, brand new world, random seed, all the way to this locomotive right here, this locomotive that I'm on? Would you be interested in seeing me construct this and trying to beat I guess 9.5 hours, 9 hours 45 minutes in the construction of one of these locomotives? This one, or I guess the blue one. But I want to say that 930 would have been built, would have been all black in its lifetime. Do you think I think I could do it? I feel like that's very achievable, but perhaps that's something you'd be interested in. I'd like to attempt it. I feel like I could do that pretty handily actually. So I don't know if if this is something you'd like to see done. Just let me know, please. If you liked the video, if you liked the tutorial, leave a like. If you didn't like the video, dislike it. However, you got this far. I hope you liked it. And then comment down below whether or not you'd like to see me attempt uh, that speed run at building a locomotive, at attempting to tie this world record or break it, I suppose. I will be streaming that to Twitch, depending on how everyone else feels about this. So, this has been Affected Hippo, and thank you for watching. Goodbye.